So for today's workshop, since I'm assuming you guys are probably new to Math UIL, so the main goal for today's workshop is really just to get you guys introduced to what Math UIL is and just overall what Teach to Learn is too. So for today, we'll just go over about what Teach to Learn is, what our workshop's about, the competition aspect of this workshop, and also how we'll run the meetings in the future meetings. Uh, and so for Math UIL, there's two specific types of competition that we'll be focusing on, and those are number sense and A plus math. And so we'll basically just go through the rules for those, and then we'll also talk about the benefits of this workshop. And then to end it off, we'll play a little Kahoot game, which will basically feature questions for both number sense and A plus math. That way you guys can get a feel for which one you guys might want to do in the future, or which one you guys like best overall.
Okay, so a little about Teach to Learn is that it's a student-led and this nonprofit organization aiming to help you guys find a passion. So with this workshop, the passion would be math. And Math UIL is a really fun way to advance your math if you're interested.
Okay, so for today's mentors, I'm one of them. My name is Lakshanagpal. I'm a sophomore, and then I've been doing Math UIL since 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and in junior high, I did both Math UIL and Number Sense, and I'm also in band.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a sophomore this year, and I've also been doing Math UIL for, I think, over 4 years. So, it's been a pretty fun experience.
Hi, my name is Grace. I've done Math UIL for about a year now, and I'm in orchestra.
Okay, and then these are some other mentors that we have that you might see pop up in the future, but they're not here today. Actually, I think Jachi is, but
Okay, so overall content of workshop. So the workshop's mainly aimed towards teaching an advanced level of math, but the majority of the topics we teach are going to help you guys in competitions like number sense and A plus math. And besides the overall content, we'll also have a lot of fun and interactive activities while incorporating some competitions and activities. So like for today's activity is going to be a Kahoot, and for future ones, we'll continue to use Kahoots and also team-based activities too. And then our main goal for this workshop is really to teach math that seems difficult at first to handle, but we're going to teach it in a way by giving you tricks to really make difficult math concepts seem pretty easy to do.
So for today, it's going to be a general introduction to the math workshop. And then on day 2, we'll be going over multiplication/squares and cubing speed tricks. Day 3 will be over divisors and Roman numerals. Day 4 will be over introduction to sequences. And day 5 will be over advanced multiplication and series. And some of these concepts may be unfamiliar, but they'll all be covered in number sense and A plus math.
So to give you a competition perspective of Math UIL, the knowledge that's taught in this workshop will aid in math-related competitions such as number sense and A plus math. And to help you guys in these competitions, we'll be providing practice questions, practice tests, videos, one-on-one help, and real-time competitive experience like Kahoots and stuff. And if you ever need help, then you can always DM us on Discord and we'll be happy to help you. So why should I compete? So Math UIL is an important activity in high school, and I recommend doing it now so you can do well where it really matters. And if you get into it, it's actually really fun and it has a quick learning curve, so it's not hard to get really good at it, and anyone can learn the tricks and strategies.
Okay, so for the general structure of the workshop, so today is more of an introduction, like I said before, but for future ones, we'll first have an advanced math topic to go over. So for example, the next one's going to be over multiplication and squaring, and so that'll be the advanced topic. And then we'll break that advanced topic down into different subtopics and tricks that we'll teach you for those topics. And then we'll just go over them, teach it to you guys, make sure you guys are familiar with them, and then discuss how it can help you in competitions. And then once we cover all the content for that day, we'll also have a fun and interactive game. So like for today's is Kahoot, and we'll have more Kahoots and some team activities too. And then after all that, need any help, you guys can stay longer to ask questions. And then for most of the workshops, we'll also provide a worksheet for the topic that for the topics we went over. That way, you guys can get some extra practice in, but it's just optional.
Okay, so now we're going to kind of talk about the differences between A plus math and number sense because the competitions are pretty different. So with number sense, it's mostly a mental math competition. So this is better for people who like solving it in their head. And then for A plus math, you have space to write it out. So they'll give you have Scratch workspace. And number sense is also a lot shorter because it is mental math. So it's only 10 minutes and there's 80 problems in total. But with A plus math, it's kind of similar to tests you take in school. And it's 30 minutes with a total of 50 questions. So if you're willing to take a longer test and you like writing your workout, I'd probably take A plus math. The scoring is also pretty different. For number sense, you get 5 points for every answer correct, and then they take off 4 points for every incorrect answer and blank answers because you cannot skip problems. So it is possible to get a negative score. With A plus math, it's actually a lot harder to get a negative score, but it still is possible. You get 5 points for every correct answer, 2 points off for incorrect answers, and there's no deduction for blank answers, so you can skip around. With number sense, like I said before, you can't skip, and the problems also go from easy problems to hard problems towards the end, which is why it's very short. There are 4 columns, and the way you would do it is you finish the first column of problems, and then the second column, and then you flip over to the back, and then there'll be a third and a fourth column. So it's very speed. You have to work at a fast speed to be able to do well, and it's also practice oriented because you have to know a lot of tricks to solve math faster beforehand. So then you know that number sense is mostly tricks and memorization. With A plus math, since you can pick and choose your questions, since you have the ability to skip around, there are different levels of questions all throughout the test. And there's an answer sheet, so it's kind of like a Scantron. They don't look through your actual test or at your work. They'll only look at the answers you wrote down. It's multiple choice, so it'll just be A, B, C, or D. So it is possible to guess, but we don't recommend it. It is kind of speed-based. If you want to get through all of them in 30 minutes, it is kind of hard. But it's mostly knowledge-based and based on your problem-solving skills, which is more similar to what you kind of have in school. Oh, I don't think you're muted.
Okay, just some more number sense rules. Number sense can tend to be a bit specific, but they shouldn't affect you too much. So for number sense, like Olivia said before, there's 80 questions, and so every 10th question is an estimation question, meaning that you don't need to find an exact answer for the question. As long as you have an answer that's somewhat close to it, you should get it right. And so these questions have like an asterisk or a star right next to it. And then so for example, question 10 being 3056 and plus 4985 plus 3400 would be an example, and you can sit there and just solve that and try to get an exact answer, but by doing that you would be wasting time since it's not meant to be solved exactly. So it would best to just be estimate each answer and then add it. So yeah. And then also whenever you guys write fractions, just make sure to simplify and then no extraneous zeros after the decimal point. So this basically means that like if you have numbers like 4.50 or 3.60, you shouldn't have that zero because it has no point when you can just write 4.5 or 3.6. But that rule doesn't apply to when you're associating numbers with dollars, money, and so that's when you need that hundredth place value. So for example, $6.30, you need that zero at the end there. Okay, and some more number sense rules. So it's best to use pen on these tests. I like to use pen because I guess since it also sort of helps you go faster in a way since it's just fluid liquid, but also you're less tempted to scratch or erase answers because with pencil you might be tempted to erase it, but if they do catch you doing that or if they see erase marks, then they will count it wrong. So it's best to just use pen. That way you're not tempted to erase or anything like that. So yeah, no scratching or erasing answers. And then answers can be fractions or decimals if not specified. Usually they'll have like off to the side what they want, but if not, then you can do either one. And then the same applies for mixed or improper fractions.
So this is kind of what the format of tests look like. So for number sense, I was talking about columns before. You would finish the first column and then you move on to the second column, and then whenever you flip it over on the back, there'll be the third and the fourth column. So these are kind of what the examples of questions would look like. And then for A+ math, it is multiple choice. So this looks very similar to what you have in school probably.
Okay, some benefits for this workshop. So whatever you guys learn from this workshop, you guys will definitely be able to use it throughout high school since Math UIL is also happens in high school. It's not just a junior high activity. And then also you may realize that math is truly a passion for you. So for those that may not know what they want to do when they grow up or just don't really have an interest right now, math could be that interest for you. So, and then also the math we teach can help with future math classes. Like I know for me, they definitely did when I did Math UIL in junior high school. And then you can definitely also write it in resumes and applications of sorts. And then some real world applications. So yeah, you guys will be experienced with the math side of STEM, and then which could help narrow down future career paths that could include engineer, mathematicians, teachers, economists, financial planners, and many more.
Okay, so we're just gonna explain this game really quickly because we might use this in a future workshop, probably a few weeks down. But it's basically just another way for us to get more test practice for you guys. So we're gonna split you into groups, and then each group will have 5 to 15 minutes based on whatever test we're practicing, either number sense or A+ math. We'll probably give you more time if we're doing an A+ math test, but if we're working on number sense that day, we'll probably give you a shorter amount of time. And then we're going to give you guys a link to a Google Doc, and then you guys are going to try to work together and finish however much of the text we give you. And then once time's up, you're going to go back to the general voice channel. So while you're working together, we're probably going to split you off into different voice channels. And then once we come back to the general voice channel, we're going to tally up the scores and we're going to see which team won. But it'll be a good way to practice your number sense and A+ math skills. And if you're smart, you would probably split the work so you each do different questions.
Okay, so this is so we put this here just so that you guys know how we might teach future math concepts later on in our future workshops. So for example, one of them that it's like an introductory concept for number sense, which is multiplying by 25. So we'll basically first have, some of them will have models, and then we'll also have steps along with the concept. So with the model, it basically stimulates what you want to do whenever you see this type of problem. So for example, whenever you see a times 25 problem, you first want to divide whatever number you're multiplying 25 with by 4. So looking at the model, if you have a number a times 25, just divide a by 4 first. And then lastly, you just want to multiply by 100 or just add 2 zeros at the end to get the final answer. And then for some of them, we'll also have explanations as to why they work. So for this one, multiplying by 25 is like multiplying by the fraction 100 divided by 4, just written in another way. So yeah, and with this trick, you can also multiply by 100 first and then divide by 4. It's really a preference thing, so just do whatever best fits you. And then once we go over the concept itself, we'll have an example problem that we'll go over. And so for example, for 52 times 25, what you first want to do is divide 52 by 4 to get 13. And then lastly, you want to multiply 13 by 100 to get 1300. And then that's the answer. And so yeah, we'll basically first have one practice example, and then we'll move on to a you try section where you guys can use the chat, the math general discussion, and you guys can just answer these questions and we'll just go over them after the end. So go ahead and try these if you guys want to, based on like the last trick. Just type it in like the math general discussion text channel.
Oh yeah, and try to do it based off of what we just taught you, not like.
Yeah, because like the main point of this trick was to just like avoid using the calculator and just doing in your head. That way, because number sense is a competition that there's no scratch work, no calculators, you have to do everything in your head. So that's what the majority of these tricks will be oriented towards, just trying to do it faster and within your head.
Yeah, the first one is absolutely correct. You divide 44 by 4, and it's 11. You multiply by 100, and you get 1100. And the second one, SC3 also has it. It is 1500. So, good job. Pretty easy. So, a lot of times, you might be wondering where you could also practice on your own, and we definitely recommend you guys to find your own practice. You can find number sense practice tests on Brian Heath. I know he posts a lot of tests for you for free, so if you feel like practicing or you want to look for it, he has a lot of resources that you can look through. And then with A+ Math, we have one right here. If you go to the UIL website, they have one with a sample sheet and the key if you're ever curious. And then for more practice, there's a website called A+ Click that is pretty good. Once you go there, it'll take you to a lot of different grade level problems. And then if you click on one, it'll take you through problems from that grade level. So if you were to practice for A+ Math, I'd probably aim for grade 7, grade 8, or grade 9. And then here's some really useful videos if you're wondering if you want to know more about the Math UIL competitions.
Okay, so yeah, now we're on to our Kahoot. So it'll just have questions from both number sense and A+ Math. So this one will have 8 number sense questions and 6 A+ Math questions, just so that you guys get a feel for which one you may want to do in the future.
Alright, I'm going to stop screen sharing, and then Loksha is going to screen share. And then you guys need to join his stream so you can see the Kahoot. And the questions will be there. You can give him a moment to start it. And then we can also put the code in the chat for you.
Okay, I should be sharing it now. Just go ahead and join it, and then play. Wait, are we waiting on anyone else?
Let us know if you're gonna play, but you haven't been able to join. If not, we're gonna start soon. I think you could probably start now, unless someone is still joining.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, someone's still joining.
We can wait for you.
Is that everyone? Okay, I think that's everyone. Alright, I'll go ahead and start now, but you guys can, like, if you guys have any problems, you can join again with that same code. Oh yeah, and just a bit of a warning, you guys probably won't know how to do these questions unless you guys already have some experience, but the majority of these questions will be topics that we will teach you later on in these workshops. So by the end of this series for basic, you guys will be able to know how to do all of the questions you guys might see. Alright, yeah. So yeah, it's okay to guess on these. It's just to get you like, so like, for example, 11 times 43, that's a question, that's a pretty common question that you'll see in number sense exams. But like for next workshop, we'll be going over how to do that. So you guys should know how to just do all these by the end of all the workshops. numbers. Yeah, this is an example of a Roman numeral. Alright, so that was, I think, the last of the number sense questions. So that's the type of questions you'll guys most commonly see on the number sense ones. And then now we're moving on to A plus math. So for these questions, you'll be given 60 seconds each since they're harder problems, but you can also use paper too with pencil. So yeah, just have that ready if you guys want to. Right, yeah. Oh, yes, the question's the image. Yeah, you guys have probably not heard of this one before, but we'll go over it in our third workshop, I believe. Okay, last question. Yeah, good job, guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys got a feel for how the questions were. Yeah, number sense was more quick based, you just had to know it. And then for math, it's more problem solving and word problems.